Hello, I'm Ian.
And I'm Sam.
And we welcome you to the latest episode of Such a Ranker, the show where we take 5, not 7, completely random films and try to rank them from the worst to the best. What could possibly go wrong? Sam, how are you doing today?
Well, I don't think you have to mention the 7 thing anymore.
I do, because I want to keep saying it just in case anyone ever comments back and says, I think you should do more films.
Yeah, but the audience...
But we're really laying it down.
The audience really knows this now.
Long-term listeners.
Long-term
It pays off, right?
Yes.
You've got to know where these things come from. Anyway, how are you today?
I'm very well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Not too bad. Got a little bit of energy that's slowly but surely waning. So
it's all those Clint Eastwood westerns.
It really is. There's just too many Clint Eastwood at the moment, and I just can't stop myself going online to find more. There's a really, really nice box set collection of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly that's coming out. Have you seen this one? The limited edition one coming on HMV soon. Indeed. Have you pre-ordered it?
I haven't pre-ordered it.
I'm so close to. It's so good.
Will we be talking about any westerns today, though?
Don't know. Take us through the list.
Well, at first, we have Dunkirk.
Okay.
A World War II classic, I would say.
Classic.
Probably the classic World War II film of the 2010s.
Yep.
By Christopher Nolan.
Absolutely.
What next, Ian?
Yes. Well, we'll go from Christopher Nolan director to Christopher Nolan producer, and we'll go with Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice.
Is he a producer on this film?
Apparently so. He's an executive producer, I think.
Oh yeah, I know, but that.
Oh,
that doesn't mean anything.
He was way at the point where he was stepping away from the DC franchise. He was decoupling.
Yeah,
should we say?
This is like Spielberg with Jurassic World.
Absolutely,
where his name is just basically that's the only thing.
Exactly.
Attached.
After this point, I don't think his name is anywhere near Justice League. Put it that way, right? So yes, this is the Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice from 2016. I think in this episode we can talk about both versions, theatrical and Ultimate Edition.
Fair.
I've seen both. I've not made a film by film comparison, but we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Famously directed by Zack Snyder. We'll go into that interesting little titty of a film.
Indeed.
Then what we got after that?
We've got 500 Days of Summer, the sequel to 499 Days of Summer.
And the prequel to 501 Days of Summer.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that one.
I know, right?
A classic rom-com of the 2010s.
Of the 20... Well, it's not 2010s. This came out in 2009.
No, it didn't.
It did.
Don't believe you. Blow me sideways, it did. Yes,
2009. So the classic romantic comedies from the 2000s. We're keeping this in, by the way.
500 Days of Summer, a classic of the late 2000s.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. This film is... nothing hits you in the feels as 500 Days of Summer does when you're a teenager.
Yes.
Right.
And I certainly watched this in my teens.
Absolutely. Great little movie. I'm sure we'll go into much more detail about it. It's directed by Mark Webb. Went on to do Amazing Spider-Man.
Well, we can discuss that further.
Let's discuss it further. Then, talking from hitting you in the feels one way to hitting you feels another way, American Reunion.
Yes.
Weird. This was the fourth film that came out in the American Pie franchise. There were sequels and prequels and spin-offs before Reunion, but they're not really part of the canon. So we're going to talk about the 4 main films as canon.
Yeah. Another culmination of a classic franchise.
Absolutely.
In Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Volume 3.
Or is it the last ever Guardians film?
Well, who knows? Who knows? I think we won't see some characters, and I think we will see others.
Ian, Dunkirk.
Where do you want to start with it?
Well, I mean, we should probably talk about the plot.
Let's give a little bit of dimension to this, shall we? So, this is written and directed by Christopher Nolan. The film, basically, again, this is the IMDb description. Allied soldiers from Belgium, the British Commonwealth and Empire, and France are surrounded by the German army and evacuated during a fierce battle in World War II.
Yes.
So that is a pretty on-the-nose description, I suppose, of the plot. But it's Christopher Nolan.
Yes.
He plays and delves into his favourite subject of all time, which is time.
Yes. And he does it very effectively for a World War II drama.
Oh, absolutely. I was going to say, do you reckon... No, go on, continue.
Well, yeah, it's 3 different times of the day.
Yep.
Which is basically, you get the perspective of...
Actually, I think it's times of the week.
Is it the week?
I think it's a week.
Oh, it
Or
is.
is it,
Yeah,
it's either
of course it is,
24.
yeah.
It's either 24 hours or it's over the course of a week.
Okay.
I remember it being like, because there's elements of them being on the boat, the
Yes.
big boat, and they're on there for a little while, and then so they're running around the town, and they've got like some overnight stays, I think, and they've showed like images of them just basically trying to survive on this beach, right? So I think that's over the course of a week.
I think the plane is only the day because obviously
the plane is like 4 hours, if that.
Yeah.
So that's really short, and then you've got the kind of the midpoint, which I think is the guys coming over from the UK with their sailing boats. So you've got 3 facets of time. Is it kind of one of the most successful ways that a director has led up to an apex moment in a movie by basically utilising different time frames to get to that apex?
Yes. I mean, this is a very unique film,
Unique.
even for Christopher Nolan.
Do you think it's his best use of time in a movie?
Oh, that is a great question. I'm going to say yes because I'm a sucker for World War II.
Yeah.
And I thought, considering, it's been so long since, I think he did a really good job. I mean, it was a lot more probably bleaker and there was probably a lot more going on. I'm pretty sure there was more than just 3 planes during the evacuation. But I thought it was so tense. I thought he made the most out of because obviously there's not a lot of like character development because it's really about the event of Dunkirk.
Yeah. It's the events that lead up to that apex. So there's no character arcs aside from just survival.
The planes, all the sequences are incredibly well done. Something that is just like desperately lacking in those kind of films these days. Because do you remember Midway?
Oh yeah,
the Roland Emmerich film.
Yep.
It's like the complete opposite of Dunkirk, which just feels like this lazy sort of homage to a big event in World War II.
Yeah.
I kind of wish Christopher Nolan did more films like these.
Yeah. I mean, to stick on the time element for a little bit. I mean, what have you got comparison-wise? So you've got Momentum, which was basically telling a story both forwards and backwards at the same time. Inception is the idea of slowing down time through dreams, and Tenet is Tenet. Can you tell us? How do you go backwards? Right.
I suppose Interstellar kind of obviously.
Oh yeah, Interstellar
plays
with and the planet stuff, and do you want to, how much time are you prepared to lose, type thing from your loved ones and all that lot. I think he just inserts time into everything. I think there's even time within Oppenheimer, isn't there? But I don't think it's anywhere near as obvious. But I still think there's elements of it because I think it's that whole idea of what happens at the center of the explosion. What happens there, and he's interested in the science of how that literally can change everything. He's a master when it comes to this type of storytelling, and I do think in a weird way that, well, not in a weird way, but I do think that Dunkirk is him showing off his skills.
Yes. No one else could make this film like this and it be like interesting.
Yeah.
Someone of a lesser skill like a Roland Emmerich would just completely butcher this. It would also be about 3 hours long.
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan knows that, ironically, with time, this is his shortest film.
Yeah,
I think because he just thought this is all we need.
This is all we need
for this situation.
Yeah. And weirdly, he must understand that when he's writing the movie dictates the length of the film. It's not the other way around. So it's a really interesting way of doing it. There's a really famous thing with Nolan where he basically takes all of his films and they're basically all sketch, and he will live and breathe that sketch. So he'll write down his initial idea and then he'll just go, right, this is what we're going to do. So there's the famous image of what Inception is, which is just like a line via a line via a line via a line to show the passage of time. I think he's got a similar one for Tenet, and he apparently just sticks by this type of ethos when he's like writing scripts and stuff as well. And it just feels right. It's timed really well. Nothing outstays its welcome. It's all leading up to a certain bit. I think the real interesting thing about it, though, is how Nolan has an extraordinary team of people around him for this.
Oh, yeah. Well, they're sticking IMAX cameras on
so this is the thing,
World War II planes.
Hoyt van Hoytema, holy cow, as cinematographers go. And actually, we're going to talk about a few cinematographers today. But as cinematographers go, Hoyt van Hoytema, holy cow, that man knows where to stick a camera, right? Have you seen the behind-the-scenes stuff how they filmed this? It is insane what this guy is prepared to do. And also the positions that he's prepared to put himself in just to get like an IMAX. And when they're like covering it up to hide all the sound from these whacking great cameras and stuff like that. And you think that's just extraordinary. And you can't, to keep on the subject of sound, while Hoyt van Hoytema is trying to hide the sound, you've got Zimmer's absolutely insane score in the background. that just it scores in a cliche kind of way are they're designed to tell you how to feel at certain points, right? Hans Zimmer's score in this is just insane. Like, when you consider how much this guy has done for cinema and for scores in cinema, the ticking of the clock is genius. And it just builds and builds and builds. And it just creates such an intensity that there's the scene. There's a really cool the scene in Tenet when they're storming the concert hall. That's got a really good score to it as well. And this is kind of similar to that, where there's just an intensity and there's just build up of just next thing. It's just
the sound
that makes
design.
the end of it like an actual release. There's something to the music that is just so kind of
takes your breath away.
Yeah.
Basically ticks all the boxes that you kind of want from a Christopher Nolan World War II film. Like, he doesn't need to use like graphic violence to sort of get the point across. Is there any blood in this film? I don't think there's any blood that I can think of. Maybe from Brendan, the one of the kids, because they smashed their heads. I think you might see a bit of blood because he's
Barry Keogh's character.
character. And they give you enough information for like history buffs to know what's going on and like the consistency of what is going on in this like huge moment. But no, I think it works perfectly.
Yeah.
I wish people would make films like this more often, but somehow make it affordable.
94 Metascore.
Fair
For Dunkirk. It is his highest Metascore.
I was just thinking that. Yeah, that's
Dark
so high.
Knight sits at 85 and Oppenheimer's sitting at 90.
Interesting.
So it's his highest rated on Metascore.
Metacritic, like those World War II associated blockbusters.
Oh yes, absolutely. It was nominated for quite a lot of stuff, but only won 3 for editing, sound editing, and sound mixing. Nolan was nominated. Hoyt van Hoytema was nominated. Hans Zimmer was nominated.
Did he not win?
He did not. He won for Oppenheimer. So he picked it up, but later on down the line. Yes, and a worldwide gross of 550 million off a 100 million budget.
That's so
that
good.
film was made for 100 million. You think about the amount of people that are in it and the spectacle of it, 100 million.
Yeah.
That is nuts.
It was also the last really good film that not only Tom Hardy was in, but Harry Styles.
Yes, agree.
Yeah.
Agree.
When is Harry Styles going to,
turn up in Eternals 2.
Going back to what you said about, directors who are good with budgets.
Yes.
Do you know who isn't?
Who isn't? Yes.
Zack Snyder.
Okay.
Can I do a hot take? Even though it's not a hot take, it's just a take. Zack Snyder is the most overrated director of all time.
Okay. Cool.
The most.
Yeah.
I think that must be true now. He's been given more money to produce more shit, but gets like respect from people.
His highest movie on Metacritic is like something like 59.
Yeah, but I don't know.
And I think that's still no, but this is the thing, right? You have to look at the logic behind Metascores, right? They're the average. They're the middle of the bell curve, right? It disregards like kind of the extreme ones.
For context, we're talking about Batman versus Superman.
Batman versus Superman, yeah. This is comfortably. I'm not going to say it's down the lower end of his Metascores. This is at 44.
No, this is high. I would honestly say
this is mid to bottom.
In his filmography, this isn't even the worst.
Oh no, this isn't the worst.
Army of the Dead.
No, see now, Army of the Dead actually, really weirdly, is actually one of his best.
Right, I'm off. Oh, what Metascore? Are you saying this?
This is on Metascore, yeah.
Okay,
just purely go on Metascores because I think it's a good temperature check to where things are sitting.
Yeah, but you got to remember.
I think you've got to read in between. Like we've said this the whole way through. When it comes to reviews, you find the reviewer who's most like your own opinion, and then you try and like dabble in and find the people.
Right.
Listen to the extreme ends of the scale. And
I have a
stuff.
theory. Army of the Dead. What year did it come out?
Oh, what 2002?
No, Army of the Dead.
Army of the Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2001, 2002, wasn't it?
The casino film.
Yeah.
2020. You're saying 2002.
Sorry, yeah, 2020, 2022.
It came out in... I'm looking at it here like it's going to be on there, but it's not, obviously. I think it came out in 2021. What happened in 2021? COVID. We would have taken...
Everyone was in a fever dream.
We would have taken anything.
True.
And I think...
To be honest, as Zack Snyder movies go, I didn't hate Army of the Dead.
Did you hate Batman versus Superman?
I have very mixed feelings about
I
Batman.
watched it.
Right, put it this way, right? I'm like you. I don't necessarily rate Zack Snyder that high.
That's very generous by what I just the rollicking I just gave him.
That and the conversation that you and I have had off of microphone about Zack Snyder. Right.
I had apathy. I watched it at the cinema and I was just like, this is so boring.
I liked Man of Steel. So I and I trusted the Christopher Nolan producer credit too much. And I was like, yeah, this guy, yeah. I mean, he's got Christopher Nolan on him, because apparently they're good mates, right?
I'll tell you what. I've heard a lot of
He's
good
supposed to be
things
such a nice guy.
about Zack Snyder. I'm not questioning him as a man.
No.
I'm questioning him as an artist.
Yeah. So I liked Man of Steel. So actually, in a weird way, I was still in a position where I was just kind of like, you know what? I'm open to this. I was open to Ben Affleck Batman in a way that I didn't expect to be. I had issues with it and the casting. I thought it was an interesting casting, but I was open to be like, right, where's this guy going to go with? So Bruce Wayne. I think he could be an interesting Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. I think the acting is fine by everybody bar Jesse Eisenberg. Because Jesse Eisenberg is playing the wrong character.
Well, I'll tell you what then, before we go any further, because that's the background of where we sit in terms of how it is. Right, so Batman vs. Superman. This is the second movie, just to let you know, in the DC universe at this point. There'd been no others. Batman is manipulated by Lex Luthor to fear Superman. Superman's existence is meanwhile dividing the world, and he is framed for murder during an international crisis. The heroes clash and force the neutral Wonder Woman to re-emerge. Now, this is interesting, right? Because when I read this, I was like, that synopsis was nowhere near that bloody movie when it came out. Because no one fucking knew that Lex Luthor had manipulated anyone.
No.
People still don't know that. So that synopsis, I think, is new. Just to get people who haven't seen it to actually have some modicum of understanding of why this is actually happening. So, yes, as we mentioned, directed by Zack Snyder. It's written by Chris Terrio. So just know what he also brought us Justice League and The Rise of Skywalker. And it's also brought by David S. Goyer, who did The Dark Knight with Christopher Nolan, which is weird. In my notes, I put script doctor ?
He will carry having a credit on The Dark Knight until he dies.
Yeah.
I am almost certain, based on the rest of his career, that he basically wrote maybe one scene out of that screenplay.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Or Christopher Nolan. He knows stuff about Christopher Nolan that Christopher Nolan didn't want to get out.
Yeah. I mean, but where do you start with this film, right? Like, it's massively... and let's try and be as fair with this as we possibly can, right?
The film is dull. Every scene seems to be going in a different direction upon itself. So tonally, it's a mess.
It's not fun.
Structurally, it's a mess. It's trying to build a universe in itself. And I think this film basically destroyed itself because it established everybody far too quickly, like in the universe.
Yeah.
We probably needed solo Batman films, maybe another Superman film, definitely a Wonder Woman film, definitely a Lex Luthor something.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just felt like a convoluted, rushed mess, which is Zack Snyder's filmography.
So I completely 100% agree with that, because I don't think this is without interesting things in it. I think the problem is it's not well executed. And that's the problem. You absolutely hit the nail on the head there when you talk about where this fits in terms of the grander narrative. This needed a Batman movie that led into the end of Man of Steel. The only part of the film that makes any sense is the beginning setup with Bruce Wayne seeing the tower Wayne Tower just get absolutely trashed. And he's like, that guy's a villain. But then for the rest of it, you're then trying to be convinced that Lex Luthor has somehow manipulated the world into thinking that Superman's a bad guy. But he's also had enough influence that he's basically manipulated Batman into going after Superman. Clark Kent, a journalist, doesn't know who Bruce Wayne or Batman is at all. even though Metropolis and Gotham are opposite each other on a map, like you can literally hang out of the window and see Gotham from the other side of the bay. All of the events with Doomsday at the end is just crowbarred in to bring Wonder Woman in, and you're sitting there going, "This is the second film in this run." Like, it doesn't make any sense for this to have been played out. You did need an extra movie for you to even care about what's happening here. The core problem, despite all of these issues, despite all these problems, is it's not fun.
No, it's
not fun. It's so miserable. And I don't know why I've seen this film so many times. Because every time I get to the end of it, I'm like, where's the fun in this?
Because it's got Batman and Superman in it. So
Yes.
I think fundamentally Zack Snyder just went into it being like, we don't need to develop these characters because these characters are icons of pop culture.
Which I get.
So we can just basically, as a child, just let's get them together and smash things against each other. Just watch The Boys.
So you're absolutely right. The Boys manages to absolutely nail it, and it's funny as hell.
Yeah.
So it's like,
But
you
The Boys
can satirise this stuff, and you can do it in a really good way. But Batman vs Superman, it's just not it, man.
They needed to plan it more. But everyone was rushing because of the MCU. They were just massively catching up.
Yeah.
And
we spoke about actually the money and stuff, and it was absolutely playing catch up. There's no way. I mean, it made 875 million off a 250 million budget.
Yeah.
So it kind of only just really got there.
You think you're looking at about 300 million profit for a film that essentially destroyed its own series.
Yeah. Absolutely. And actually, I've written that as an interesting point. One of the key things about this is it's a very tired movie very quickly, and people get bored of it. Would you put this down, or could you safely say that this might have been the beginning of superhero fatigue?
Ooh, good question.
Because people got bored of this, and then they got Justice League, and then they got Wonder Woman 1984, and the first Wonder Woman was a good movie, but the rest of that universe.
I think this sounds very cliche, but I think people just like good films.
Yes, that's very true.
I mean, basically, they watched Man of Steel and this, and then by Justice League, everyone was like, "I'm out. I don't care about this." Because I mean, we're talking about the MCU. That was in full drive by 2015-16 all the way to Endgame, and that made nearly $3 billion.
Yeah.
So I think fundamentally people just want a good story to follow.
Yeah.
And none of these DC films do that.
No, I agree. Okay, 500 Days of Summer. 2000 when was it, Sam?
2009.
2009. Okay, right, there we go. It's like the first date I've ever got, so I'm going to lord it over you somewhere. So, directed by Mark Webb, who went on to do Amazing Spider-Man, unfortunately last year's live-action Snow White. It's written and directed by Scott, I'm going to say Neustadter, and Michael H. Weber. So they are dual writers. They did Disaster Artists, Fault in Our Stars, Paper Towns. So there's a kind of like a feeling with the movies that they've written.
That's a very strong...
It's not bad.
Filmography.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I know. This is your quirky relationship movie, should we say? According to IMDb, after being dumped by the girl he believes to be his soulmate, hopeless romantic Tom Hanson reflects on their relationship to try and figure out where things went wrong and how he can win her back. I think that's a pretty good summary.
That's a very good summary.
I like IMDb summaries. They kind of give you a nice little feel.
Is this
except for the Batman vs Superman one, which tries to justify its existence?
Justify, I see that, Justice League. See what he did there.
Nice.
Yeah. Does this film justify its existence?
Yes. Yeah. This should be called... No, it shouldn't be called Justice League. No.
It is... Is this the most well-written rom-com of the 21st century?
Oh, that is a fantastic question. I don't necessarily know if it's just romantic comedies as a genre, but like almost the coming-of-age movies. Something like 500 Days, I think, delves a bit deeper than romantic comedy. I think it has this amazing ability to just connect with people.
It's one of those films that if you are 16 or you ever reflect on being 16, it kind of like hits you in the gut. Yeah.
First loves, anything like that, really.
Do you reckon there'll be a sequel for 501 Days of Summer where he just spends the film like hunting down Zooey Deschanel in revenge?
It's just changed the genre.
Yeah.
That's 501 days.
Just do full blown
of
horror. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, 500 Days of Summer. I would say it's obviously a non-linear film about love and heartbreak and how people change.
Yeah.
And every single person who watches this film, they'll feel it.
We spoke about Chris Nolan earlier on about how he literally creates a story, and he'll start with this sketch and he'll do it out. 500 Days of Summer is so complex in its construction, and how it's so brave, and it feels so forward thinking in terms of how it sets the scene and tells the story. One of my favourite scenes of all time is the expectation versus reality scene. It is a perfect piece of cinema in my mind. It's one of those scenes that lives rent free. I think it's scored beautifully. I think that whole scene, is a fantastic. It's a fantastic depiction of when you're working your way to ask someone out, or you're close with someone or something like that. It just understands the way that your brain tries to justify stuff. And anyone going through something at that time who watches 500 Days of Summer takes so much from it.
Yeah.
That then it's a feel-good movie, because by the end of it, you pick yourself up and you go, yeah.
It's a very good guidebook film of how to process incredibly deep meaning feelings.
And I think it does really interesting things as well, because it doesn't kind of, at least in my mind and looking back on it, I'm like, it doesn't, it delves, it's not afraid to delve into how real kind of hard-hitting emotions in a scenario like that can make you a worse person for it.
Yeah.
It's not afraid to make Joseph Gordon Levitt's character, it's not afraid to make him the villain.
Yeah.
And the whole point, I think, of his movie is you feel massively sympathetic. You're supposed to be on his side. And as the film goes through, it flips. You then go from actually then being on Zooey Deschanel's side. And I think it does a really good... I think we mentioned that, didn't we? With... what were we talking... There's a film, I think, on one of the not one credit, but I think on Such a Ranker, one of our first episodes, where we said there's something very similar with that. It does this amazing ability of just flipping your sympathies. And you go from really sympathising with one character and then going with another.
That's gonna...
And it's another example of that. I think it's really great. I just want to make a shout out, because I don't think any of this stuff goes out too often, right? Eric Stilberg, cinematography, right? And in some respects, Alan Edward Bell, he's the editor for this. I mentioned about the technique and how some of these films are shot. Everyone knows the Hall & Oates song from it and the dance scene and that. The cinematographer for this, Eric Stilberg, also did Juno. He did Up in the Air and Go in the Distance. Now, if you've seen those types of movies, you'll very, very, very quickly get a picture for what this guy was doing in the late 2000s in cinema, right? And I just wanted to do a quick shout out, because, as I say, I do think the expectations versus reality scene is extraordinary. And so what a better place to shout someone out.
There you go. One day, mate, he'll hear this.
One day he will, and he'll want to come and have a chat with me. But yeah, Metascore of 76, no nominations. But 76 is a strong
76
score.
76 is very good for a comedy drama.
Absolutely. 60 million off a 7.5 million budget. Right, so what's a good way to transition from this one? 500 Days of Summer? From feel-good movies about the end of a relationship to feel-good movies about the end...
Debauchery!
Of sex! Yes, American Reunion. Weirdly, this was the long-anticipated follow-up, which was 10 years after American Pie 2. Not 3 years after American Pie 2.
Wedding.
Yeah, when was Wedding then? 2008?
3, I think.
Oh, was that 2003?
So American Pie 1 is 99. American Pie 2 is 2001. And I think American Pie 3 is 2003.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that's right. So there's a 9-year gap.
Years. Okay. Yeah. Yes. So this was much anticipated, because I think people wanted to see the band back together. It is, to be fair, I don't count the wedding in some aspects, because it wasn't the whole band getting back together.
It's probably this film is just absolute nostalgia porn for anyone born in the mid to late 70s.
Yeah. And to be honest, I also think that's how the film... Reunion is so good at capitalising on all of that lot again.
I think they all are.
When you rewatch, well, I don't know about Wedding. I do think Wedding's a bit like reachy. I think that's at that point I was like, this is a spin-off, right? It felt like a spin-off at this point because it felt
we had a lot of Stifler doing things, which is what people want.
But this was the thing though. I think they kind of and actually the Stifler stuff is actually some of the stuff in Reunion that I didn't like. We'll go into that in a minute anyway. But essentially the story is Jim, Michelle, Stifler and their friends reuniting East Great Falls, Michigan, for their high school reunion, right? And I like the fact that the IMDb description only has 3 of them in it. Directed and written by John Hurwitz and Hayden, I think it's Schlossberg, but additional writing credit for Adam Hertz. Now, essentially, these guys, literally all they've done is Harold and Kumar movies. This is Hurwitz and Schlossberg. They've done Harold and Kumar movies. That is it. The only other film that they did after this, apart from all of the additional scenes and deleted credits, which they have on their IMDb credit list, is a film called like Inebriated or something like that. Again, like that's literally all they've done. Hertz, however, is the American Pie man.
Yeah,
he has done everything.
Even the Bandcamp stuff.
I think so. Yeah, I think
at least
the additional stuff.
Is he like the Spielberg executive producing of all
of
Bandcamp
American Pie?
films?
Yeah. So it's like one track. Yeah,
we need to get. Well, I mean, we'll talk about it at the end, but we do need to get a new film before Eugene Levy kicks the bucket.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
because he is the best character for me in all these films. Every scene,
I think he's the linchpin.
Every scene with him is golden.
Yeah,
it will never fail. It's still one of my favourite endings is when he's dancing at the end of American Pie 1.
Yeah,
down the stairs.
It's lovely. But it's really homely as well. I think there's like a level of like this guy just loves his son so much.
Yeah, doesn't matter all the public humiliations or. He's just very grounded in he's my boy.
Yeah, it's lovely. Yeah. It's got such a relation. I think we said this when we were talking about American Pie 2. His relationship with Jim is just really nice. But yeah.
American Pie 4. I mean, all these films kind of have things that have aged badly. Has this one got? This one has got some troubling things, particularly with Jim's former someone he used to babysit for, who's now like 19.
Like 18. Or no, she turns 18.
Oh my God.
In it. It's just awkward. And it creates like this weird sense of... It's kind of... I wrote a note for this to just say, it's kind of the closing chapter of the 2000s frat comedy period.
Yes.
It's a really good way of just closing the door to it. It's funny. It still has... it has the original... I've even written down here. The most amazing thing about this story is how... they end up, every single one of these characters ends up in exactly the same position they were in at the end of American Pie 2. Like they nothing shifts that much. Like they were just like, right, let's take Chris Klein and the girl from American Beauty, Mina Savara.
Yeah.
Let's take those. We'll put those back together again because we need those in it because they weren't in Wedding, so we'll bring them back. And I can't remember his name, but their characters are together at the end of it. No, Jason Biggs is with Alison Hannigan. And then you've got Finch.
Thomas Ian Nicholas. Oh, no, it is him.
Yeah, Thomas Ian Nicholas.
He's 45.
Oh, man.
Mate.
Yeah, but like it's one of those scenarios.
Jason Biggs is 47.
Yeah, I know.
Fuck.
But it's one of those. It's one of those scenarios, isn't it? Where like they don't really go on much further, or they don't really move the characters very far. It's just more of the same.
Yeah.
But it's just nice to see all of these characters on screen together, and they're all kind of reminiscing, and they're all doing that thing that everyone does at a reunion, right?
Yeah.
Stuff I don't think there's really much to not like about these movies. It didn't go, I think, as farcical as The Wedding did. I think they kind of kept it kind of quite normal. Stuff I didn't like was, weirdly, I don't know why everyone seemed to like Stifler, and he's got like this weird redemption angle in this movie that I'm just a bit like, why? He's supposed to be an arsehole.
That's the point.
It's the whole point. But they give him, it's like they feel sorry for him, and at the end of this, he sleeps with Finch's mum.
It's a thing where every jock every jock, bully, whatever you want to call them, they always reach a point where they have to grow up. And this is kind of his version of that where
yeah, I suppose.
you've got to have that in these kind of
Yeah, but then
films.
I thought that was the whole point of Wedding.
And it's also what can you do? Yeah, I know, but there's only Stifler has to be in because he's kind of like the comedic, juggernaut of the films, I suppose. For like in terms of the kids, I say kids,
and I suppose they'd always show him as still a loser at the end of it anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that was just one of the things that always kind of sat a bit weird.
Are you stunned? There's never been a Stifler spin-off.
Yes and no. I think if they were making American Pie now, we would have had a lot of Stifler spin-offs. But I think the thing was the Stifler, no, because his brother's in a few of them.
The Bandcamp ones, yeah.
The Bandcamp ones is his brother who's the Stifler in those, isn't he? So I wonder if that was enough, and they were just like, no, let's keep Stifler gold.
Just keep Sean William Scott on ice.
Well, because he was on, early 2000s. Sean William Scott was a thing, right?
Oh,
like, he was huge in the comedy space.
Oh, my God.
And I think he even did a few bits of drama in there as well.
He went on a run of American Pie 1, Dude, Where's My Car, Final Destination, Welcome to the Jungle, Starsky and Hutch. What's the other one?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Dukes of Hazzard.
I mean, a lot of these films didn't do brilliantly.
Is it Goon?
Goon's kind of the end.
The end of the room, yeah.
Goon and American Pie came out 2011, 2012, and I couldn't tell. I think he's done Ice Age.
Okay.
But yeah, his career has... he's nearly 50 now.
Yeah.
So I would imagine he's probably desperately hoping there's going to be an American Pie film, which there will be.
Yeah.
There just will be. I mean, they do reboots for everything now.
Yeah.
We're about to get a Malcolm in the Middle 4-episode miniseries.
Yeah.
So he's just got to hold on.
Absolutely. I mean, in terms of scores, so sitting on a score of about 49, so it's second best of the four after American Pie 1. But I mean, holy cow, did it make some money? 235 million off a 50 million budget.
American Union?
Yeah.
Wow.
Most profitable. It was probably arguably, it's actually the most profitable movie on this whole list that we're doing today. There's such a ranker list.
Fair.
Yeah.
You might be right about that. No, I mean, American Pie, it's good fun, problematic. Will they do more? I think they will.
Who knows? All right. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, the third entry in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, written and directed by James Gunn. But yeah, this is the third entry.
The third?
IMDb describes it as still reeling from the loss of Gamora. Peter Quill rallies his team to defend the universe and one of their own, a mission that could mean the end of the Guardians if not successful. Do you think that's a good synopsis?
I think that's fair.
I think it is completely and utterly misdirective of the actual version of events.
Do you think? To that degree?
Right. So I think I'm going to say, so I like Guardians 3. My biggest problem with it is it feels hugely rushed. It feels like it's got too much in it. And I think because of that, we're in a really weird place where the focus of the movie is meant to be about Rocket, but for some reason we end the movie on Peter Quill.
Yes. Yeah.
So I think it's hugely confused at what it wanted to do at the end.
It's very contrived, but I think it works well enough. I hated the ending where they kind of like tease Peter Quill like dying, like to such like a large degree.
This is what I mean. This is what it doesn't make. This is where I really disconnected with Guardians, because I was like, you've not earned this. Like that whole bit with Peter Quill at the end, and like they tease the death and all stuff like that. It's like, this is a different movie.
Yeah,
I'm watching something like it's lacking a particular focus. What do you think of the villain?
Oh, just too much. Sounds ridiculous, but just too comic booky.
Yeah,
just too. I mean, interesting, interesting look, but yeah, it just turns into like sort of like cardboard cutout villain, generic villain. Yeah. I'm impressed that the film works as well as it does, but it is not. It doesn't feel like a singular film.
No,
it feels like bits and bobs of other ideas put into this film.
Yeah,
I have no idea what the original idea was. Maybe they made the film because they knew James Gunn was going, so they were like, well, people are going to like be like really wanting this.
Yeah, I also wonder whether or not they knew that this was going to be the last movie for a lot of the cast. I don't think Dave Bautista will go back to the role, for instance. I think they will break them up. I think Chris Pratt will still be part of the Marvel Universe moving forward.
I don't think he will be.
I think he will.
He's slowly creeping towards that Mark Wahlberg territory.
He is, unfortunately, but I think that's why he will bite the hand off of anyone that puts him in. He was such a big part of... He was weirdly a massive part of Infinity War. Because, you know, the events wouldn't have happened if it weren't for Peter Quill. So there's an argument that's like, none of that's really resolved. Like, he's a bit of a broken character at the beginning of Guardians 3, but it's like... You've still got all the Gamora stuff that you can still go through. You can mine all of that. He's now separate from the rest of the Guardians. Like, perhaps he will... Like, weirdly, I wonder if he becomes like an odd part of, say, one of the Avengers teams that they've got going on. Like, he would probably fit in quite well with the new Avengers or something like that. I don't think we've seen the last of some of these characters.
I can't see it. I can't see Chris Pratt sort of like becoming a big person in this again. He just mostly does Amazon stuff now.
I don't know. I think it's a good vehicle for him because he hasn't got Jurassic Park anymore.
He either does Amazon Prime Direct or animated, where we don't see him, we just hear him.
Well, I mean, he's Mario.
He's Mario and Garfield, so it's like, I think. I mean, we won't delve into it on the pod, but like, there's a lot of like issues with him behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So I can't see it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I do think the book is firmly shut on that.
Okay.
Part of Marvel.
I would be surprised if we don't see any of them again.
Okay.
I really would be. Anyway, 64 Metascore. So it's the worst of the three.
I think that's fair.
Ironically, it's the best of Phase 5. I'm not sure actually if it is or not, but I think in terms of rankings,
it's probably Shang-Chi.
That wasn't Phase 5.
No?
Apparently that was Phase 4.
Oh, these phases, honestly.
I know. 845 million off a 250 million budget.
That's a good return considering the world we were living in.
It's funny, however, that we're saying that's a really good return when you consider Batman vs Superman. That would be considered a disappointment.
Yeah, I know, but Guardians of the Galaxy 3, post-COVID, were we still in kind of choppy waters?
Well, it's also when Marvel's in complete, disarray at the moment.
I suppose, no, that furthers our point that people want good stories.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go on to the good bit.
The good bit?
Let's do some ranking.
Yeah, and the whole
This
thing
is the hardest thing.
It's fabulous.
It's fantastic. It's just all of us talking about films all the time.
I think the bottom of the pile is Batman versus Superman.
It's the only film that we've had something bad to say about any of these films.
American Reunion we weren't overwhelmingly glowing about, but yeah, Batman versus Superman is it doesn't quite do justice.
I think it's the film on this list that isn't good, right?
Yeah.
I think everything else we've kind of justified, but yes, I think Batman vs Superman is the worst on our list. So that leaves number 4 on our list. I'll tell you what, there's an element of this being a little bit cut and dry, right? Number 4, I'm going to say American Reunion.
I'm going to say Guardians.
You think American Reunion is better than Guardians 3?
I probably have more.
Do you know what?
I probably have more fun with American Reunion.
Do you know what? Because I watched American Reunion for the other night, and I thought, actually, I really enjoyed this. And I watched Guardians a couple of months ago for the second time, and went, I forgot all of this. And I think that says I can't argue. Do you know what? In fact, I think. Do you know what? I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think there's more fun in American Union as part of the saga than there is from the trilogy of Guardians. Like, the payoff of Reunion is bigger than the payoff for Guardians 3.
So, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is a decent film.
Yes.
My biggest thing with it was that it didn't like tarnish the first two, and as a trilogy, it's mostly like fine. It's intact. But I had a lot more fun with American Reunion.
Yeah, I do think I know we literally just touched on it, but I do think it says a lot that it closed the book on that type of storytelling. 'Cause you don't really see frat comedy anymore.
No.
And it's like, it feels like Reunion kind of said
Well,
goodbye to it.
it feels so prehistoric because of how Hollywood has changed so much in the last 10 to 15 years. So it's just like a time in
It's
the
a time
world.
capsule. It's an absolute time capsule.
And that's why it's cool watching all of them, because, you know, it's kind of like you're watching all these people grow up on like camera. So
yeah, absolutely.
yeah, I think it's it's good fun.
Yep, absolutely. So, 4 then, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. 3, I think we're going to say American Reunion.
American Reunion.
Now, interesting 2 and 1. What do you reckon?
I think 500 Days of Summer is my runners-up.
Okay. I think I agree with you.
I don't actually think it's that close, to be honest. I like both films, but Dunkirk is like such a... Again, I'm a big history World War II guy, so I'm immediately a sucker for this. I marvel at the whole process of what I'm watching.
There's something... Weirdly, the comparisons between 500 Days of Summer and Dunkirk, which I cannot believe is a sentence that I would ever say out loud, is they are both oddly pioneering for their genre and filmmaking and so on and so forth. But Dunkirk is actually just like remarkable. I don't think you can... There's not one element of Dunkirk that isn't sublime.
The scene where they introduce the Spitfires is one of my favourite things ever.
Well, the dogfighting in general is
just the power of those planes and their like place in sort of like iconic territory.
Anyway, right, that's our list. So what have we got? We've got 5. We've got Batman vs Superman Dodge. At 4, we've got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. At 3, we've got American Reunion. At 2, we've got 500 Days of Summer. And number 1, we've got Dunkirk.
A great victory for American Reunion.
I think so, yeah. But that's not bad, is it?
I hope that Sean William Scott will listen to this podcast one day and weep at the thought that someone remembers him.
Absolutely. Anyway, if you liked what we did here and you've got any comments whatsoever, please comment in the box down below. If you like what we said, give us a thumbs up, a like, a star. What do we do on Spotify? Is it a like?
It's a like.
Or is it a rating?
I think you can do all those things.
Okay, well, I mean, if you fancy it, give us a rating, give us a follow, all of the above. We'd appreciate it. I'll see you later.
Bye.